with Fuckface McGee 1 and 2 and 3.
We're all fuckface McGee's.
Huh?
We'll just let Rocky take his phone call. Let me adjust some. I don't know what kind of cough that was, but it was very interesting.
It was a cough where I just coughed and like made a noise with my lips.
It was like you were trying to hold it in, and then your mouth was like no.
Yeah.
I get it.
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. There's 22 people left. I already got 3 kills. I haven't died yet. The gulag's about to close. Hey.
Are you by yourself?
Yes. I only play solos when I'm not with y'all. Because me and Chester agreed last night on something. That whatever solos is always better because you only have to worry about yourself.
That would be correct.
That's why I always do good in solos. Like every Black Ops 4 video I did, if it was solo, I made it to the top 10.
When it was with me, nada.
If it was with you, it was either I went down first or you went down first and I had to go rescue you because you dropped far away from me.
That's because the fucking stupid ass shit with like you had to look a certain way when you jump.
That's still how it is.
Yeah, pretty much. But I got used to it. Did I forget how to play this game?
Probably.
I did.
I heard
I did.
Mackenzie gave you a time limit or something.
Sort of.
Not sort of, she did. Whenever she tells you to get off the game, you get off it unless you fall asleep. Motherfucker! Got the bitch. Whew.
Don't do that. Eh.
Jeez, I didn't even think somebody was gonna be up here.
You never really like think of that though. Like you expect it, but you're just like you're pretty much just being cautious.
Yeah, but as soon as I came up the steps, like I saw somebody, I'm like, oh, this is it. But then I killed him.
I always love that feeling. It's like, oh my god, I'm about to die, and then you end up killing that person.
My skills are better than yours.
It's like
The
you are actually
closed.
It's like you're actually close to death, and it's just you still end up winning somehow.
There was multiple times last night when me and Chester, like we would die to like people like headshotting us through like a tree or a fence, and like that tree or fence is like you can't shoot through that. So how are you killing me?
Right. So they're pretty much doing impossible shots.
No, they're hacking because they locked onto the head as soon as they zoomed in. Me and Chester watched both our kill cams.
That's crazy. I hate when people do that.
And then they be like, "Oh no, I'm not hacking. I'm just better than you." I'm like, "How? You didn't even know I was there."
Lie again.
That's my thing.
I know.
I got cheese bread for dinner again tonight.
Cheese bread?
Mm-hmm.
From Little Caesars.
Mm-hmm.
I had mashed potatoes with chicken and gravy, kind of like that shit we had in school, where it was like the chicken and gravy and mashed potatoes with a fucking dinner roll. Yeah, it's still saying 140 on my end, so I guess it is because of the update. Wait, there is one more thingamabopper. It's over here. I don't know why everybody judges me for drinking ginger ale. I don't get it.
We're drinking ginger ale like it's regular.
Yeah, it is regular.
Usually when people be like, oh, I need a ginger ale, they either have a stomach problem or they're sick.
Well, yeah, I mean, actually the day I slept, like I slept all day. I was sleeping all day.
The day you sucked.
No.
The day I sucked what?
We don't talk about it. But I got I
Motherfucker!
I slept all day because I wasn't feeling good. Like I had those fucking egg burps and shit.
He had to have had Doston. He had to have had Doston.
You know those I don't know if you ever had them. Those nasty ass burps. Like
burps where you feel like you gotta throw up, like those throw up burps.
Yeah.
Everybody's had those. But that's how I knew if I was sick. If I burped and then I just had the taste of throw up in that burp, I'm like, oh no, this ain't good. I'm about to hurl.
Oh my god, because they taste like, because you've never, you've, there's only one way you would know if you're allergic to eggs, right? Either well, there's two ways. Either you've eaten them and you had the reaction, or you went to the doctor and they said, oh, well, you're allergic to this.
Yeah, that's how they discovered I had allergies as a kid.
Which,
my dad gave me, I don't remember what it was. I think he gave me like a peanut butter sandwich or something, or a peanut butter cracker. Like I used to eat them all the time. But then when I came back for another one, my face was swelled up. So they're like, what?
But here's what I'm not understanding, cause you eat chicken, right?
I'm not answering that stupid ass question.
I'm just saying I could see like, cause they're different, but they're not. Cause never mind. I don't want to. I can't really explain it.
And you don't want to get the onslaught that's about to happen to you. You continue to try to explain it.
Yeah.
Who's fucking listening to it? Sounds like the rip-off version of the Weekends Often.
Mackenzie.
Not surprised. Oh, baby, look.
Are those both rabbits? Why are they so fluffy? What made them so fluffy?
Your face.
Hey, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Let me see. That's gotta be a baby. That has to be a baby. What the fuck is that?
There's nothing but empty water bottles in my room.
You be hydrating? So, how do you feel about, you know, the election?
What the fuck?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told Jasmine when she was trying to discuss it with me. Two conversations to quickly start an argument in all life, politics and religion. That's why I don't discuss it.
Shit. I was just asking because I know we were talking about it the other
Yeah,
day.
we was talking about it, but did we really have a discussion about it?
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
basically, like,
I knew
way,
how you feel about it. I just
Either way, America is fucked. End of story. Move on. Next topic.
Next topic. Is that a rabbit? Why does it look flat?
Wait till we start having two pedophiles running for election. We get the group.
What?
It's basically like, all right, which pedophile do you want?
I ain't focused on them. I'm just worried about that black lady that's right there. Yeah.
See, and that's the thing. People were like, oh, now we're fucked because Biden like in office. But yeah, would you rather have Biden who said he's going to try to stop the racial injustice stuff, or Trump who said he's not going to do a damn thing about it?
I'm not trying to get too deep into the conversation.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not getting deep into it either. But I'm just saying, this is when that's what character matters. Let's just say that character matters.
I'm sorry, what?
Never mind, nigga. You don't pay attention. How you don't pay attention to your own podcast?
I didn't hear what you said.
Exactly, you're not paying attention.
He was talking too low. I couldn't hear what he said. How does that mean I'm not paying
Brandon,
attention?
did you hear me?
I heard bits and pieces, but at the same time, I was going off about the whole election thing.
So can you repeat what you were asking?
No.
Alright, fair enough.
Jeez, I got blood in my ear.
Yo, what? Blood in your ear?
Yeah, I'm cleaning my ears out with a Q-tip, and when I pulled the Q-tip out of my left ear, I didn't even stick it in that far, like, just blood came out. I must have got a cut or something in there. Yeah, I must have got a cut or something.
I was gonna say, did you like scratch it or something with the Q-tip, possibly?
No, but I do have a history of scratching myself in my sleep, so that could be it. And I did just cut my nails. Well, there you have it. Two conversations, or three conversations now, that Christian will now get bombarded with if he ever starts to, ever try to start it again.
Mm-hmm.
That my allergies, election stuff, or just, like I said, the two conversations that'll start to argue.
We got 2 more squad members.
But regarding the PlayStation 5, like I said, the only games I've given for PlayStation is Madden, MLB, NBA, Call of Duty, Spider-Man. And whatever games transfers over when I transfer the stuff for the PS4.
Which would probably be GTA Avengers, the first Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man and Avengers is on the disc, so I don't know if that's gonna transfer.
Well, oh yeah, that's right. You're getting the digital. I'm getting the digital version too, and I have both of those digitally. So. Let's talk about the Spider-Man game though. Have you seen what they did to it?
I already watched the you know the Rad Brad, the YouTuber?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to like Let's Play games, that's who I watch. And like I watched him play this, like the first hour, and he just uploaded 2 more videos. So I gotta watch those 2 also. But I'm already in love with the game.
Yeah, I saw bits and pieces of the game.
I'm already in love with the game just from watching that first hour of him play.
But do you see like look at the difference between from the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man to the Miles Morales Spider-Man? Do you notice how Peter Parker looks younger?
Yeah, because that's how I told you, they remastered him.
Yeah, and that's what I was like I was talking about, because
like,
I get the idea. Like, yeah, he's still supposed to look young, but I think the idea that they had for him in the beginning with his, like, the way he looked was fine.
But still, and let me just say right now, you know how like you said like, oh, since it's Miles Morales, Peter's about to die. I was right when I called it. Like he could just be going like into like a cross.
He's leaving New York. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going cross T's with MJ, which I predicted, and I was right. So I just wanted to put that out there.
I know. I saw it.
Because I'm like, when you said they like Peter must be dying in this game, I'm like, that can't be right because they're still making a second game with him specifically.
Right, but he, like I was explaining also, like he has to end up die, and he has to die sometime because of the whole, like, with the whole Spider-Man Miles Morales story.
Yeah, but at the same time, they don't always have to do everything like the comic.
Right, and they're
like, yeah, with these games, like the comic. People like they're like, oh, it has to be just like the comics, so Peter has to die on one of the games, and they want Miles Morales to continue to have a story in the video game. But at the same time, some people just want to have like a good story that's not tied to the comics all the time.
Right, and that's like the story for these games anyway is not even close to tied to the comics. So
that just says it right there. In the next Spider-Man game, or the next Miles Morales, well, this one's gonna do good. I already know this one's gonna do good. This is gonna be competing for a game of the year with Cyberpunk. I can say it right now.
Yeah. Speaking of which, like I said, I was playing the first Spider-Man a little bit, and I finished it over again since I had to redo everything. Did you notice when MJ is in the Oscorp lab, when she sees the spiders? Did you notice that she was calling out the superpowers that Miles Morales was going to end up having?
Like, I knew about Miles. The first time I ever heard about Miles Morales that wasn't from the comics book was when I first saw the first trailer for the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm like, wait, there's a black Spider-Man? Let me read up on this. Spider-Man on the PS4, and like you said, when you get to that part when MJ's in the lab and she's looking at the spiders and she's reading off what the spiders' like abilities are, I'm like, and then, well, I already knew Miles, there was gonna do like Spider-Man Miles Morales as soon as like they showed him like being like you do like little bits and pieces of his story before he got bit, like doing those like stealth missions and everything, sneaking past everybody.
Yeah.
And then when they showed like the spot, like you said with MJ and like basically in Norman Osborn's penthouse in the lab, like where Harry Osborn is. And they showed the spiders. I'm like, oh, they're gonna do a video game with either both, like with both of them, and then you're gonna probably like swap back and forth playing with them, or they're gonna give him his own game.
And that's all. Like, I want to know if they're
a year later. A year later or 2 years later? 2 years later, they gave him his own game.
Right. What I want to know is it what you were just saying? Like, can you switch back and forth with them? Is it gonna be like, oh, you gotta play as Miles and then you gotta play as Peter for a little while and then go back to Miles?
In the Miles Morales?
Yeah.
Like,
are they gonna do the same
Spider-Man
thing?
Miles Morales? No, as far as I know, like I said, I only watched one video from it. I'm not gonna watch like fast forward to the end, see what happens, and do that. I'm gonna until I get the game. I'm just gonna watch the videos because, like I told you, Spider-Man Miles Morales is gonna be the only game on YouTube that I'll watch the full Let's Play of until I get the game myself.
Right.
Because that's how I did it with the first Spider-Man game. I watched it all the way up until basically like the prisoners breaking out at the raft, and when the prisoners broke out of the raft, that's when I got the game, so I stopped it right there, so I didn't know what the ending was going to be.
Right.
So say if
that ending was so... That ending was... I liked it, but it was just... At the end of the day, I was just like, wow, that really happened.
Yeah, but how I see it, possibly... Excuse me. How I see it possibly, well, Spider-Man Miles Morales, it starts it off with the first, like I said, I'll tell you like the first part of it. Spoilers for the people that don't want to hear this. But for the first part of the game, like obviously you're helping them like transfer like the people back to the raft, and Rhino breaks free, so now you're chasing Rhino throughout the city.
Right.
And basically, like it's like clips. It's like flipping. It's not like flipping you back and forth from Peter and Miles, but Miles is like handling like the convicts, while Peter's trying his best to contain Rhino until he needs like Miles' help.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like once Peter like gets knocked down by by Rhino, now it's Miles is turn to fight Rhino, and obviously Rhino ends up being locked back up.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you watch like some of the pre-game trailers, that's when they introduce like the Roxxon company, who's probably gonna be one of the main antagonists in this game. And then like after that, it cuts to like Peter and Miles like basically reflecting after like the whole battle and everything, and Peter's telling him like, yeah, I'm gonna be going away for like a couple weeks with MJ. Like as a little mini vacation, so that means you're gonna have to watch over in New York while I'm gone.
Right.
So basically, this game is based all on Miles Morales. Like, yeah, you'll see like Peter will be there. Like probably like I said, I only watched one video so far, so Peter might probably be there. Like as like he'll have like flashbacks, maybe like training or whatever.
Yeah.
Or he might like mention Peter, how like he misses him, or like he doesn't know if he's ready to do this yet by himself.
Right, because he mentioned that when Peter told him that he was leaving.
Yeah, like he said he doesn't know if he's ready or not. And the one thing I do like about like this Spider-Man, like how last game basically like as you progress through the game you get more and more gadgets, but as you progress through the game with Miles. Like he's learning his as he's learning his skills, you're learning his skills. So basically, like you're learning like his electrify. He's the same way he's learning about his like electricity, his venom, and his like camouflage. You're learning it with him as well. So it's basically like his origin story almost about how he got his powers and how he found out about it.
Right. So it's basically going through like it's going through his origin story. In a way of like how he got his powers.
Yeah, mine is like Peter not being dead. Just Peter's like away on vacation, and he's trying to learn his powers by himself.
Right. Like, and I actually like that idea. That's a good idea.
Because the way they introduced his basically electricity when he was fighting Rhino, I'm like, that's like a good example right there. Because basically, like Peter's like down for the count, Miles is getting mad, and then boom, one of his powers starts to like come out. Like the electricity comes out. Like since like I said, I only watched one video, so I don't know how. We don't know how he finds out about his like camouflage yet.
Yeah.
But I'll say one thing I
think that's why I liked the Miles Morales Spider-Man, even in the comics and in game or in any film. Which I think the Spider-Verse is the only film he was actually in. But that's the reason why I like that.
Like as of right now, the Spider-Verse is the only film because like they already said they already had like they already did the casting for their live action Miles Morales. They just not saying who it is until like the Spider-Verse movie happens or until after Spider-Man 3, like Tom Holland's Spider-Man 3.
I looked at all of them. Oh my god, no. Yeah, that's the reason why I like the Miles Morales Spider-Man is because of the extra abilities that he has.
And another thing with Miles Morales and Spider-Man, you know how like Peter had like either 8 or 10 gadgets, Miles only has 4. So it's not gonna be like overpowered and everything. Like he'll have like the basic web shooters, and then he'll get like 3 more gadgets as the game progresses.
Wait, right, and I like that idea too because you gotta think like he couldn't have made those gadgets himself. He probably had Peter to help him.
Yeah, like
because Peter made his own gadgets himself, and he always had since he got the powers.
The only gadget that Miles didn't make himself is his web shooters. Because if you remember from the Silver Lining, like the City That Never Sleeps DLC, and the Silver Lining part where you're teaming up with Silver Sable to fight Hammerhead again. Like there's bits and pieces of Miles calling Peter, and then one time when he's calling Peter, he was looking through like Peter's bag like accidentally. He says accidentally, but he found like web shooters that basically were fit for him. Like they were made for him. So the only piece of gear that Miles has that's not made personally for him are the web shooters because Peter made those for him.
Right.
And like everybody knows about how the classic suit, like you have to unlock it.
Yeah.
Because first you start with like the suit that basically Miles is basically a Spider-Man mask, basically what the Spider-Verse one looked like almost when before he put the regular suit on. Like basically hoodie, he had the mask and everything, but it's not black yet. It's still like the red, like from when he bought from the store after Spider-Man died.
Yeah.
And then before Peter leaves, he's Peter gives him like a Christmas gift, because it's taking place during Christmas. Like that day is Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I know.
When Rhino's breaking out.
Yeah.
And before Peter leaves, he gives them like a gift, which is basically Peter made him a suit, like something like what Stark gave, what Stark gave like Peter in like Homecoming.
Yeah.
Like Civil War, then going into Homecoming, and it's like an augmented training thing also inside, built inside of it. So while Peter's gone, Miles can still train because he's he basically made him just like Stark's, like the Stark suit.
Right.
Like an augmented, where he can communicate, telling them how to do the training stuff and everything. So even though Peter in order for him to learn, he has to go solo.
Yeah.
But Peter is still there teaching him through the suit because he's already had it programmed that tell Miles what to how to do this stuff, how to do that. So basically he's basically learning all the stuff that you did as Peter in the first game as Miles in the second game. So you're just basically relearning that stuff, just you're adding his abilities to it.
Yeah, and I think that's the Miles Morales Spider-Man has to be one of my favorites because of his extra abilities and the fact that it's going back to he's a 15-year-old kid learning to be Spider-Man.
Oh, in the game he's 17.
Well, yeah, so it's 2 years later because he was 15 in the first Spider-Man.
Yeah. Because a year or so is Doc Ock, and then a year after is basically the City That Never Sleeps DLC. I just want to I'm pretty sure they did do it this way. But with his camouflage, I want to see how he learns that ability. But also, I'm pretty sure the game already did it to a point where people won't be overusing it and everything. You only got a short period of time to use it or something.
Or you can upgrade it to where you can use it for a couple seconds longer.
Yeah, because the skill tree does look a whole lot different, and there is a slot on the skill tree that is not that is not unlocked yet, because I guess that's like for the camouflage. So how like he has like there's a skill tree for the Venom, like the basic like combat and everything. Then there's like one that's like locked. So you, like I said, when I'm looking at it, I'm like that has to be for like the camouflage when you unlock it.
Right.
But I like the one thing I do like about it is how like basically Miles Morales and Spider-Man is basically how like Ned is like the Tom Holland and like the Spider-Man now. Basically like he's like his like that's his friend, his best friend who like helps with his Spider-Man stuff, who's the only person that knows that he's Spider-Man. It's not like Peter and MJ and all that.
Right.
So all I know is when I finally get the game, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I think I will do a Let's Play of it just because...
I will do I know I said I would do a Let's Play for a Spider-Man or the Avengers game, but for this Spider-Man, I will definitely like, it'll be like a stream Let's Play. So I'm going to be streaming it, do it for like 1 or 2 hours, and then like continue the next day.
Right. Yeah, I like that idea. Because I just do it by like missions and shit.
Like, but that's the thing, like, I was thinking about it, I could have done that with the Spider-Man game, but I'm like that type of person where I get sidetracked from the main mission to the point where I get all the side mission stuff off the map, like the challenges and all that, I get all that done. So I already have like the tokens and everything, so when it comes time to upgrade my stuff, I'm like, oh, I already got the stuff, let me just do it.
Right. And that's fine.
But
the way I do it is I'll do the side missions and keep that out of the video and just do the main. So you're just doing the story.
They're all good ideas.
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong. It's just that, like, I remember, like you know how, like, if you're, like, recording off the PlayStation, like, it'd be like, oh, this is a blocked scene, like, so you can't really, like, record it.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm, like, thinking, well, if it's a blocked scene, does that go for broadcasting also? Because if I'm streaming it, like, is it going to still say it's blocked?
I would assume so, yes.
Well, I'll just have to like do like a test run with it, like before I get the game. So I'm gonna have to go back and play the first Spider-Man, and the only block scene I remember from the game, I think, was when basically Aunt May dies, because I remember they said like, yeah, this scene's blocked. So.
Yeah, I think it was because of like spoilers then.
Yeah, because like for people who didn't play it or who hasn't played the game, or people that is recording the game, like it's basically like, oh. Like this is a very big, like all the parts could have been considered spoilers also, but this is like the end of the game. This is very big spoiler territory, so we can't let you show this to other people.
Right.
Until like, unless they figure it out themselves. That's the only disadvantage of recording off the PlayStation. But if you're just recording like how you would normally record, like that's not gonna be a problem for you.
Right.
But now that I think about it, I don't even remember if there was a block scene in Avengers.
No, actually there wasn't.
So I could have done a Let's Play of that completely fine.
Because of the whole, whoever that hasn't played the game yet or hasn't figured it out, I don't think they did a block scene for the fact where you find Captain America in space.
But here's another thing. People, like, if you played, like, the beta before a game, and you said, well, I didn't play the beta because I said I didn't want to see nothing for the game until I played it myself. I want to be, go with the game and learn as like, I'm going. But you said, like, when you was playing the beta, that Cap was, like, a playable character, right?
Yeah.
So basically, if you guys played the beta, you already know Cap is not, like, he's, like, dead, but he's not fully dead. Like,
well,
he's just gone.
I said because for the beta, I might have misinterpreted what I said. When I said that, I meant like you play the beginning part before it looks like he dies on the helicarrier.
Yeah, and as you're playing through the game, you're trying to figure out like who's responsible for Cap's death.
Yeah, but with the beta, it's like. You do that, and then you go straight to where Kamala has already found Hulk. You're in the woods. You're already there where the where you get ambushed by Abomination and everything. So
Yeah.
they'll go from that straight to that.
But either way, like, if you're playing the beta, you have the idea that Cap is dead, or Cap is somewhat, there has to be a way he's still alive, but until you, play the campaign fully, you're just gonna have to accept the fact that, well, we're playing this game without Cap.
Right.
And me, my stubborn, hard-headed ass, I wasn't, accepting it. I'm like, how can you have an Avengers game without Captain America?
I remember
there
that
has to be,
conversation.
there has to be some way that he's tied into it, that he's still alive. And then lo and behold, the game's been out for a couple months now. So if you haven't played it yet or seen videos of it, I don't know what you're doing with your life. But Cap is still alive. They just after the helicarrier explodes and everything, AIM or Monica takes him into space, trying to develop some type of serum or whatever.
She was using the hero serum on MODOK.
Tarleton.
Yeah, Tarleton, MODOK.
He turned into MODOK to get to the serum.
Yep.
But Miles Morales Spider-Man is definitely going to be a contender for Game of the Year.
Absolutely.
This one, in the dark 2020, game-wise, some of them has been good, some of them been okay, but when it comes to next-gen stuff, this is probably going to be the one, big, bright spot. This is going to be, the brightest one.
Yeah.
Because, everybody is, talking about how hyped they are for the PlayStation and Xbox, but, people are more hyped about the games instead of the systems. Because they're all oh, I want to see how this game runs on the system. Yeah, I want to see the system as well, but I want to see how the game runs.
Right.
Another thing about Miles Morales and Spider-Man, obviously the main antagonist or the main villain is a Tinkerer, but if you listen, or if you go back and watch the first gameplay they had of it when Miles was fighting him on the bridge and everything.
Yeah.
The Tinkerer is a woman, so that's one thing you gotta have him play. You gotta figure out, as you're playing the game, you're gonna have to figure out, well, who could be the Tinkerer.
Right, because the Tinkerer is usually the Tinkerer was originally a male.
An old male.
Yes. If you didn't know that, I think it was the first Ultimate Alliance where Tinkerer was actually in the game. Or I think it was the second one.
It's one of the Ultimate Alliances, or if you go and play, I think it's Spider-Man Webs of Shadows.
Yeah.
The Tinkerer's in that also. But watching the short gameplay trailer of it, the Tinkerer is a woman, so that's another thing. How Doc Ock was the main antagonist of basically, it was the Sinister Six, and basically the first Spider-Man, but it was mostly Doc Ock.
Yes, it was mostly Doc Ock because of the whole he wanted revenge, and then you got Martin Lee, who was Mr. Negative, who was actually a newer. I thought that was cool how they added a newer enemy of Spider-Man's into the game.
Instead of having the usual Goblin and all that.
Yes. Which brings you back to that too with the whole Green Goblin thing. What are they going to do with Harry Osborn?
They're gonna do something with that with Peter Parker. They're probably gonna do some of that with Peter Parker's second Spider-Man, because they can't just go jump from Miles Morales and be well, hold up, wait a minute, you gave us a little teaser about Harry and what it looks like the symbiote. So what's gonna go on with that?
Right, because supposedly he's still sick and everything, and they got him in Norman's got him in a symbiote tank.
And if you remember from the cutscene, as Norman puts his hand on the tank, the symbiote reaches out for him.
Yes. Yes, I remember that.
So basically, what they're going to do with Harry, they're going to probably do with the next Spider-Man game they do, which is going to be for Peter Parker, going to continue from his story. They'll probably do it'll continue after a period of time after Miles Morales' story.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be all right, now let's do Peter's story. But here's the question: how they're gonna do Peter's story? depending on how Miles' story ends and goes, that's probably how they'll do Peter's
Like
story.
it'll leave off with it'll start from there, or like probably like a year later after all that's happened.
Like probably like a year later after all that happens, or they'll do it like how I said they could like mix it in where they can be like, oh, like you'll be playing as like Peter, Miles, and MJ again, or they'll just have it be like, okay, you know, swap back and forth from Peter and Miles. Like there'll be missions like you need Peter for, and then there'll be missions like you need Miles for.
Right. Well, it'll be more like you said, it'll be more of Peter Parker's story than it will be Miles.
So you'll be using Peter a lot more than Miles.
Yeah.
Like everybody's gonna want to use Miles because everybody likes I don't care who what type of Spider-Man fan you are, but if you talk about Miles Morales, everybody likes him.
Yeah, because he's a likable character. I mean, like I said, he's a kid. It's pretty much like it's going through the same thing as what Peter Parker went through, except you know he's got more.
He can do more than what Peter can do.
Yeah. And the fact that he's also just as smart as Peter is with like the tech stuff and everything.
Yeah. Hold on real quick, I gotta change my shirt so I gotta take the headset off.
Alright. So, Rocky. What games or what are you looking forward to with the new game systems and shit?
Game system or games?
Both.
Well, I'm getting both the Xbox and the PS4 and PS5. But what I'm gonna do is because the first thing I'm gonna do is get a terabyte, like a 2 terabytes for the PS5.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that one. I'm definitely gonna do the same.
A whole lot more often.
Right.
Game-wise, I'm definitely interested in Call of Duty. I'm definitely gonna talk this Avengers.
Right. Yeah, yeah, I definitely want to get the new Call of Duty game because of how it's like a direct sequel to the first Black Ops game, which I think is a good. I like how. Hey, we can hear you.
Okay.
I like the fact that it's a direct sequel, so it's pretty much taken away like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 4, which really don't like the third one and the fourth one don't really tie into the second or the first one to begin with.
The third one didn't tie into it at all.
The third one didn't make any sense.
The third one was that one. When it comes to Call of Duty campaigns, and I know, like I say, like a couple of the Modern Warfares or the Ghosts or the games that you'd be like, man, why did they even do a campaign for that?
Now, when you're talking about Ghosts, it had a good storyline.
It had a good story. Like when people expect, you can go.
Like a lot, if you played the whole campaign, a lot of people expected the Ghost 2. That didn't happen.
Like when you expect a game to go from Black Ops to Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3, you expect the story to
continuation of the story.
Some way. Like in some way you expect the story to continue, not like jump like years and years into the future where you can basically turn your human body into a half robot thing.
What's he say? I just want you to
like for example, Call of Duty Ghosts, not a lot of people liked it, but I love the campaign, and I think that's one Call of Duty.
Actual, like,
that was like one Call of Duty game that I think we should have got like a second one for. Because how you gonna leave us off with a cliffhanger where your character is being dragged away by the person that you thought you killed, and then next thing you know, they just never do another Ghost video game.
Right. Well, I think it was because like Ghost had like a very like nobody really liked the game because of how.
A lot of people didn't like it at first when they didn't have zombies, they had aliens. I kind of glad it did that because it stands out a little bit.
Yeah, you can't like keep constantly doing zombies. Like as you Treyarch when it comes to like I guess you can say like the co-op stuff minus the multiplayer. Treyarch is known for zombies all day.
Activision did that.
Yeah, Activision, whatever. Either way, the companies that do Black Ops, they're known for zombies. The people that do like Modern Warfare, so Infinity Ward, they're known for like special ops.
Special Ops, like or survival mode. Survival mode on there is actually nice. And then
Modern Warfare.
like, Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 3 was the best survival ever. I can say that without an argument. Like,
I like the Modern
3.
Warfare games. I like those games because, like, it didn't have the zombies in it, yes, and I do like playing the zombies. Obviously, y'all know that.
Everybody loves zombies.
Right. But I like the game, because if I'm gonna be honest, this is my opinion. Like the older Modern Warfare games, the fucking, like the World War II, Call of Duty. It's like those games.
World War II. Call of Duty World War II, I did not buy that because I'm like, this game doesn't look like it's going to be fun. I did not buy it, not once. And the times I did play it, I was over at a friend's house playing zombies with them.
Right, but I think it was trying to go for a more realistic thing because then you had what was the other game that was pretty much in competition with Call of Duty? I think it was Battlefield or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Battlefield. Yeah. I think it was around the time Battlefield 1 came out. When you're talking about
if you're talking about World War II, I think it was
I think that was when like Battlefield 1 came through.
Either Battlefield 1
or 5.
It was either 1 or 5 where... No, 5 was most recent, so I think it was 1 when they did it, like, competing with World War II. And Battlefield won that.
I love Battlefield.
More people were...
Like,
My favorite Battlefield was 3.
Battlefield 3 was nice.
Like, I played 3, 4, and Hardline. Battlefield Hardline, I liked it because of, like, the story of, oh, you're a cop. And like you're trying to figure, like basically handling stuff in Miami, then like you get turned on and you turn into like a criminal now.
Right. Well, no, that's like I was saying. Like like from what I understand, they've always been in competition with Call of Duty because of the realism in the games.
Yeah, Battlefield is the only person, like I guess you can say the only game franchise that can actually, when it comes to shooters that has to do with war, that can actually compete with Call of Duty. Like, yeah, Halo, Gears of War can compete with Call of Duty, but Battlefield, when it comes to like American versus Russia, all that, like about
that's what I'm saying. Like the realism, like when they came out with Black Ops, it was more like with
it was
the
more
water.
Cold War.
Yeah, no, yeah, because it was more realistic and went more with like the realistic shit we were dealing with like different countries and shit and war and everything like that.
Yeah, everybody liked Black Ops because it's tied into the real world because, well, obviously, like the first Black Ops, like that was actually like events that happened. Black Ops 2, it happens in 2025. That's when it's taking place, but it's still taking place. It's continuing the story from Black Ops 1. It's just like years later, instead of you playing, like you're still playing as Alex Mason, you play Woods a little bit, but you're now continuing the story as David Mason, who is Alex Mason's son.
Right.
What?
Now, when I can say one thing about Modern Warfare. At least for the three Modern Warfares they did, they continued the story. Like
yeah, the Modern Warfare, yeah, they continued the story. That's why I said something about like. That's what I was saying. Something about like the whole realism thing and the storylines.
Like it went from Call of Duty Modern Warfare to where the main antagonist in that one, it was Zenkai.
Right.
And then Modern Warfare 2 happens, you're thinking, okay, main antagonist, Makarov. And then you get betrayed, main antagonist turns into Shepard.
Right.
And then Modern Warfare 3, you're finishing up with, okay, now we gotta have finished what we was doing in Modern Warfare 2 and go after Makarov.
Yeah.
And once Makarov was done, like, you can see it in the game, like, and that's when the arguments happen of, like, did Price die right there, or did he just basically, like, accepted, like, okay, my mission's complete. I don't have nothing left to do.
Right.
Because people were arguing that he died because, like, if you're like paying attention to the actor, like they go crashing through the ceiling, like as Price is sitting down, you can see like blood starting like to leak underneath him. So you're thinking, is that his blood or something? And if it is, like, is he gonna bleed out? Because like he pulled out a cigar, I guess it was like his last cigar, and it was basically like, well, I killed the guy that I've been after for years. I
Right.
can take this. I can take my cigar, have one good last cigar because I'm either gonna die or get arrested. But hey, at least my mission's complete.
Right. Yeah, that's why I always like the Modern Warfare storyline because it always kept up with the story. Unlike with Black Ops,
game for game.
unlike Black Ops, they carried on like a different story, like it was first story, and then the second one they stayed in line with the same thing.
Actually, if you think about it for a very small piece, World at War is part of the Black Ops franchise also.
Right.
Because Reznov is in World at War.
Yeah, it's kind of, you're kind of going back to the, basically you gotta play that first before you play Black Ops.
Like before you play Black Ops 1, you gotta play World at War.
Right, and I have the game. I've played it.
Like the first Call of Duty game I ever played was Black Ops because the first Call of Duty game I played was Black Ops. I got introduced to it by my mom's like girlfriend at the time, and I was playing it with her all the time. We would always do like combat training and everything, like basically online stuff.
I did the I played the first Call of Duty game was the first Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. So it was the fourth Call of Duty, but it was the first Modern Warfare.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I guess like Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare and then World at War. Modern Warfare obviously launched like the Modern Warfare storyline.
Yeah.
And World at War launched the Black Ops storyline.
Yes.
So the fact that Black Ops, like you said, the fact that Black Ops Cold War is coming out, and it's
a direct sequel to the first one.
Yeah, it's a direct sequel to like after you kill Dragovich and you like basically swim up.
Yes.
That's basically like saying like I know like this Black Ops is basically redeeming themselves for Black Ops 3 with this campaign. Because Black Ops 4, if you remember, we didn't get a campaign. We just got multiplayer and like
challenges
like,
and shit like that.
We got multiplayer. We got multiplayer, zombies, blackout, and like the challenge stuff.
Yeah. So there was no actual storyline for Black Ops 4.
Yeah, there was no real story. So the basically was like, okay, everybody's they probably liked Black Ops 4 because of Blackout and the zombies and maybe, but I'm pretty sure some people were were expecting a story of some sort.
I know I was because I said something to like Chester and y'all. I said it to you and Chester before. I was like, why didn't I put a story in here? Like, why didn't I do a campaign?
And I don't remember what I said exactly, but I think I said something on the lines of because, like, how can you can't really continue a story or a campaign off of like what happened in 3. Like everybody said, 3 was the worst it wasn't the worst Black Ops campaign. It wasn't the worst Call of Duty campaign, but it was the worst Black Ops campaign.
Yeah, I never played the third. I didn't play the third campaign, so I wouldn't know.
The worst campaign that I ever played in a Call of Duty game was, I think maybe Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare. I did not like that campaign.
Well, then again, Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare is in the same boat with Ghost. They didn't do as well.
Like with Advanced Warfare, I liked it to an extent, but Infinite Warfare, I'm like, I like the whole idea, super futuristic, all the battles happen in space and everything. But at the same time, I'm like, I get what you're trying to push for, like trying to make the game more futuristic, but at least try to continue a story off of like one of the last games, even if you're just mentioning one of the last characters or something.
Either from like the Modern Warfare story or the Black Ops story.
Modern Warfare. Well, since Infinite Warfare was made by Infinity War, they would have to do it from the Modern Warfare story. So like they could have like mentioned like Price or somebody.
Right.
I mean, Black Ops 3 did the same thing, but it still didn't make the story any good.
Black Ops 3, I don't remember it because, like I said, to me it's the worst campaign game.
So it's a very forgettable campaign.
Like the only thing I remember specifically from Black Ops 3 is that you get to create your character and play as a campaign as a character you make. That's the only thing I remember.
I like the storyline they did with World War II because it's actually going back to World War II and shit like that.
See, I didn't play World War II. I didn't even waste my money on that.
don't get me wrong. It was a decent game. It was definitely better than the games we had gotten with like I said with Infinite Warfare and fucking Advanced Warfare. They came back a little bit, but they didn't do. They didn't do Cold War good.
Cold War is gonna, like I said, that's gonna be competing. Cold War, Miles Morales, Cyberpunk, they're competing for Game of the Year.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna get Cyberpunk just to try it.
I think Cyberpunk is Xbox exclusive though.
No, it's not.
It's not?
Nope. Because I just got a notification about it on my PlayStation.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm debating on Cyberpunk. I can tell you one fan, like one baseless, like one, one fan base that is basically like upset because they were expecting something else. Like, yeah, like Rockstar extended more onto the storyline for GTA.
Yeah. But don't expect a new game. That's all I'm saying. Don't expect a GTA 6 anytime soon.
You're not gonna get. We're not gonna get GTA 6 probably for another 5 years.
Because people, I feel like people are like, here's the thing, they're still creating more hype and shit like that.
Right, they're still doing a lot of shit for GTA 5.
All the shit they put in for GTA 5, they could have made GTA 6 by now.
Right, they're just
focused. So hot in my room.
They're basically not gonna be like, you know what, we're not doing another game right now.
Like they're putting all the time they're putting into like GTA 5. Rockstar could be fixing the problems with Red Dead, like online, or they could have just been like, you know what, like let's stop cock teasing or blue balling our fans. Let's finally give them GTA 6.
Yeah.
Another thing regarding like video, like back to the whole like Miles Morales thing, like. You know, like obviously the first Spider-Man, the main antagonist was Doc Ock, and that was somebody close to Peter. So if you think about it, if you're playing through, while you're playing through the story of Spider-Man Miles Morales, we already know the Tinker is a woman. So if you're like that type of person that's been like, all right, let me just like out of all the girls that Miles runs into during this storyline, who could be the Tinkerer?
Right, because it's supposed to be someone
he's close to.
Like. Well, from what I understand, it likes the girl. But yeah.
See, I already have my suspicion. So basically, after you complete like the whole Rhino and then like the training Peter has has for you, like after you he gives you the suit and everything, and you go back to your house for like Miles' house for Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
Like they said, like Miles' mom says, oh, she invited somebody, and it's like turns out to be like one of Miles' like I guess long lost like best friends or whatever.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they like started telling us about her that like, oh, she's smart just like Miles, she's doing all this stuff. I'm like, did you like? And then they mentioned something about biotech. I'm like, that's suspect number one. Because just about how because how she's just like as smart as Miles. Like when her and Miles are basically, well, they're best friends and they're extremely smart, and he has a thing for her.
Right.
But that's gonna be like that's my first suspicion of who's it gonna be. I think it'll be like the girl basically that comes back into his life after who knows how long.
Right.
And I'll tell you another thing that gave it away. Like when I was watching the guy play through it, and like Rio's mom like mentioned something about like Roxanne or whatever, like that company that's gonna be probably another antagonist in the game. Her facial reaction when she said that, like that company's name, was instantly like, I'm like, okay, you're definitely big time suspect now. Because why would you make that expression if you were just like Miles' friend and like basically the only thing people know is that you're working like with some type of tech.
Right.
So I'm like, you're suspect number one for me. But one, like I said, like Miles Morales is definitely going to be in Game of the Year conversation. Shit, I didn't even think the first Spider-Man got Game of the Year.
It did actually.
So that'll be something big if well, obviously Spider-Man PS4 got Game of the Year, and if this one gets Game of the Year also, like that's gonna say something like, okay, both, like they're gonna we already know Miles Morales is gonna be competing for Game of the Year, and if it wins Game of the Year, that's just gonna be like people, all right, everybody loved the game. That means we have enough okays to like go on and continue to work on like the next Spider-Man game.
Right.
Who knows? They could be working on it right now because basically, obviously, the game is finished because, like, it's out.
Right.
So they could be working on it right now. Like they could be working on the game and be working on DLCs for Miles Morales also.
Right. I kind of want to know what they're gonna do for the DLCs. Like, are they gonna like bring back some of those enemies like that, like Peter Parker had, or?
They could, like, because if they brought back, well, as far as we know, the only Peter Parker enemy that came back is Rhino. But who knows, like, some could come back.
Ooh, an Adaptoid! Oh wait, you're not here.
Damn it. My Adaptoid fighter is not here. Fuck. Wait, which Adaptoid is it?
It's a regular one. He was the high value target. But I got him. He did.
Here's how I think. Like, obviously, like with Miles Morales, main antagonist, Tinkerer, and this company, Roxxon, because it's not Roxanne, because if it was Roxanne, it'll have an A.
Right.
But, Roxxon and the Tinkerer. And, this has also been confirmed in the game, the Prowler is in there.
Yeah, I think the Prowler actually, from what I've seen, I think it's still Miles' uncle.
Yeah, it's still, yeah, because like after you like do the whole like Christmas dinner and everything.
Yeah, but I think the Prowler is actually like trying to help Miles.
Yeah, it could be like that also because
from what I've seen though, because like in a cutscene I saw that he was like telling Miles to like protect himself and everything and try to get him, like try to make sure he's safe, trying to help him.
That's another thing about the whole, like, who knows who's, like people that know Miles as Spider-Man, his uncle knows he's Spider-Man also.
Yeah.
So basically, besides his best friend and Peter and MJ, one of his family members do know who it is. And the only thing, obviously, obviously Miles is a young kid, like, he doesn't want his mom to worry, so the first thing he says to his uncle when he finds out, when he said like, oh, I already knew it was you, Miles, the first thing Miles says is, don't tell my mom.
Right, it's kind of like the same thing, like, don't tell May. Because, like, she obviously ended up finding out, but, you know, like, she knew.
Like, she already knew, and Peter, I think he said, like, how long did she know it, and she said she's known for a while.
Yeah, so because of her, like him, like leaving a lot and everything like that.
Yeah, so that means a while could be like, oh, like a couple months, or a while could be like, oh, I've known for a couple years now, or she could be like, I've known like after like a couple years after Ben's death, like Uncle Ben's death, and like you kept like disappearing and stuff.
Right. Oh, I'm getting ass fucked over here.
Okay.
They're only 120s and I'm down. I'm 142, y'all are 120s. How are you kicking? Oh, well, I'm getting like.
I'm not there with you, so I'm not taking most of the blunt force of it.
Well, like they're just like surrounding me. What other resource? What could you use for the what? Why do we have resources? We don't even know what we use them for.
I do.
How do you use the resources, like the weird shit we get during missions?
The URU is the stuff I think you use that for like the crystals and stuff. So basically, any resource that you get that you don't recognize is either for the crystals, like those space zones or whatever.
It might be for the stones, but it'd probably be like a higher level stones.
Well, it's for the stones regardless. Like, the resources is for those stones regardless, because I have like 300 of it, and I haven't used it because I don't really be getting a lot of crystals or stones that I can really add to my character.
Right.
So the resources stuff that you just pick up, that's like the units and obviously we can use the fragments. The units we can buy, like buy emotes and costumes and whatever. But the other resource stuff, the URU stuff, that looks like a chip almost, like a DNA chip or whatever.
Yeah.
You use that for like the crystals to upgrade your, like help boost your, like your person's like hero rate and all that.
Right.
But it's all for like your, it's all for the crystals. Like crystals, like those like colorful stones and everything.
Yeah. He's dead.
Here's how I see like the next installment for Peter's Spider-Man is gonna go. Like obviously it's gonna take place after Miles. Like how Miles and Spider-Man ends is probably gonna, and if they do a DLC for it, it's gonna take place after like that, depending on how that ends. But obviously, as we know, like the next Spider-Man for Peter, like Norman and Harry Osborn are gonna have like a play in it because like he's still trying to find a cure for Harry and everything.
I want to know what he's sick from. That's what I want to know. Like,
I think
how the hell did he get sick?
I think it's hereditary because they said his mom had it, or his mom died from it.
Okay, so it's not like the same thing from like the movies where it was like his dad was dying from it.
Yeah, so it must be hereditary. Because they like, I think if you're wandering around enough with MJ, you like while you're learning all this stuff, it says like, oh, like Harry's mom died from it, and then when they found out Harry died from it, well, Harry has it. Like Norman's like funding all this money into it just to make sure he stays alive.
Right, because you don't want two family members dying at once.
Like you already lost your wife, so like you already lost your wife from that disease. So if you lose your son, it's really gonna destroy you. So that's why he had him in that. Like that's why they said like Harry's like the whole story until you find out that Harry's actually there where Norman stays.
Yeah.
Like the whole story is Harry's like gone in like Europe or whatever, wherever he's at.
Yeah, he's supposed to be in Europe.
Yeah, he's gone in Europe or something. And then you find out that he's not gone, he's sick, and Norman, like Devil's Breath was supposed to be a cure, not
yeah, it was
like
supposed to be the cure for him.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be a cure, a biochemical weapon, it's supposed to be a cure. It was an unfinished cure, as you can say.
Yeah.
And like you even hear, like at the end, Norman even says that we were close. And then like, I'm not gonna stop until I find a cure. And then that's when he puts like his hand on the glass and the symbiote reaches out for him. So either they're gonna have like Harry in some way. Like I think it would be stupid if they had Harry like be like some type of like be Venom or whatever, because when you think of Venom, you think Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
So unless like some type of like containment issue happens and like a piece of the symbiote gets free and it like attaches to Peter or it finds like or
yeah, it would be cool if it attached to Peter, because then we would get the symbiote suit for
yeah, we'll get the symbiote suit and everything, but then that means also that we're also going to get like the dark side of Peter where like the angry, like the symbiote is going to make him more aggressive.
Right.
And then like
but that
eventually
means that also means we'll probably get Eddie Brock there too.
Yeah, so basically, it all depends on how Spider-Man Miles Morales ends. That's how I honestly leave it at. Depending on how Miles Morales ends and what DLCs they do for the game, depends on how like the next Spider-Man is going to be set up.
Alright. So what else? So we talked about Spider-Man.
I was about to like discuss like about a new rumor that I read about online about the new Spider-Man movie.
Alright, well shoot.
Like the rumor that I've been reading around on the internet and I saw a couple of videos for it is, this is the first rumor. The first rumor is like, yeah, like if they don't have like Tobey Maguire come back as his Spider-Man, he's gonna come back as basically Tom Holland, Uncle Ben. Like that's the first rumor I'm hearing. Like, and at the same time, I'm like, I can see them doing that, but I wouldn't like it because when you look at Tobey Maguire, you instantly think, like that's Spider-Man. Like that's the OG Spider-Man. So having him come back as Uncle Ben will be like, like I get the story, but at the same time, like we was expecting Tobey Maguire to be in this movie as Spider-Man, and not Uncle Ben. And the second rumor I've been hearing, like I've heard this a lot lately, is that Peter's best friend Ned, they're saying that at some point he might become the Hobgoblin.
That wouldn't make sense, but then again, it's not like, because Harry's not anywhere in the picture for the fucking.
Like Harry's not in this universe.
Yeah.
Harry's not in the MCU, and if
I don't think the Osborns are anywhere in this universe in this MCU universe.
Unless they plan on adding them in this like movie, like they're not in this universe.
Yeah. But then it would still have to be like, oh, Harry Osborn's like your childhood friend.
Yeah, but still, like Marvel is gonna have to like spin this really well to make it be like, oh, this is Peter's long lost childhood friend that nobody knew about. Like they kept it a secret from him.
Right.
And I'm just gonna be like, well, tell the story. How did they become long lost friends? Like, it's gonna be like another, like, a whole Amazing Spider-Man 2 dilemma?
Yeah. Yeah, I hope it's not like that.
Like, Harry comes back and he's sick and he needs, like, the cross-species blood, and that's how he becomes a goblin?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I really don't want to see another one of those.
When it comes to the Goblin, I already said it. If they do Green Goblin again, they at least have to do it either good or right.
I just say do it right.
Because the main one antagonist we know that's already in the Spider-Man movie is Electro. We already know Electro's going to be there in some type of way or form.
Yeah.
Now, there's been rumors that since, like, there's going to be, like, people going to put, like, a bounty out on Spider-Man's head to capture him, or, like, bring him in. So that means, like, we could get Kraven the Hunter, maybe.
Or, who is it? I forget. There's a lot of characters that did bounties for like, if it came to Spider-Man. I just forget.
We could get Kraven the Hunter, but also they keep saying that like they're saying, here's how, you know how Marvel and Sony are very tight-lipped when it comes to like stuff like this, like big stuff that will make the movie like really pop off.
Yeah.
Like there's one side that's saying, there's three sides, maybe four, but there's definitely three sides. There's one side saying, oh, Maguire and Garfield are going to be in there as their roles as Spider-Man in some way. There's other side saying that Maguire's going to be in it, but he's going to be Uncle Ben. Then there's the obvious side that's saying, like, maybe they're just saying that just so, like, people will go see the movie, and then, like, if they say that and they not be in the movie, that's just, like, people will be like, oh, it's a good movie, but y'all lied to us saying that Garfield and Maguire are going to be in there.
Right.
But until we get the first, like, trailer, or, well, first we're waiting for a title. I still think it's either going to be Homesick or Home Worlds, like the people said. It's probably going to be Homesick. I'm leaning more and more to Homesick each and every day. Because they said a good portion of the movie is going to be taking place in Atlanta, because obviously Spider-Man's on the run, and the only people that can have contact with him is MJ. When they basically like came out and said like the plot for the story is like, yeah, Peter's on the run and the only person he can talk to is MJ, I'm like, okay, so MJ's gonna have a big play in this movie again.
Right.
Because she's gonna be the only one that can talk to him. And they also said that Tom Holland might be getting a new suit again for this movie.
Not surprising.
Once again, gotta change the fucking headset because the battery's dying. Give me a minute.
Alright.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay. Alright, so back to the whole Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, first, like, just like in the second movie, like MJ, who is Zendaya, for those people, if you haven't seen Homecoming or Far From Home, what are you doing with your life?
Right.
But MJ is being played as Zendaya, so basically, once again, Zendaya and MJ are going to have a big part in this movie.
Absolutely.
Because in the second one, she knew like that Tom Holland was Spider-Man, obviously. Then, like in this movie, like if you remember from Far From Home, the original stuff before the end credit scene, it ended with MJ and Peter swinging around New York, and then that's when the end credit scene came in. And like as they're when they're done swinging around and he's about to go do his Spider-Man stuff or whatever, like that's when the news broadcast comes on and it says like, oh, Mysterio is like basically he's framing Spider-Man for the stuff he did because he's a master of illusion.
Right.
And he's like, oh, like Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker. And like as soon as that happens and he puts his picture on the screen, everybody is like, he obviously it ends the same way Homecoming and like with the what the then cut. But that's also going to have a big play in it because if they're saying the movie's supposed to take place directly like after that, so he might be on the run from the second like that happens. So if that's the case, that means like people will be coming after, like will probably be following MJ around to the point where either she's on the run with him,
yeah,
or just like basically like he has to run away, and like either she has to she's going with him because basically they're boyfriend and girlfriend now,
yeah,
or just because like she's in danger too and he has to protect her.
Right.
So either way, like the only person that's going to be able to contact Peter during this whole movie is either MJ. Well, it's only MJ. That's the plot so far.
Right.
Only MJ can contact him. Not Happy, not his Aunt May, not Ned. Only MJ. Because let's put it straight. 2020 has been shit.
Yes.
But Spider-Man Miles Morales is going to be a bright point. And then next year, like the fact that they already started filming for Spider-Man, like Tom Holland's third Spider-Man movie, is another bright point.
Okay, I'm on my lunch break, so let me quickly explain Wizard Staff to you. It's part drinking game, part arts and crafts.
Because if you look at it this way,
You need 4 things. Friends,
we got another Spider-Man game, and we got another Spider-Man movie coming. So if you're a Spider-Man fan, this next year is going to be the best for you.
the goal of the game is
Right.
to have the biggest wizard staff at the end of the night. To build your wizard staff, you must duct tape your unique hands to
Pick me up.
beer you're drinking.
Pick me up.
On top. Each can equals a
Still not
I'll
how I'm
tell
dying
you.
to level 120s.
I'll tell you another thing that's going to be interesting about the Spider-Man movie.
What's that?
Method 2 and my personal favorite.
Like, if they say he's on the run, like, you have to, well, Doctor Strange is going to be in it. So, I want to know how Strange is going to have a play in the movie. Like, say, is he going to be
Probably
like,
gonna help like fix
is he
the
going to
shit
like
that's
help him,
happened.
like, he'll probably like help him escape and then fix the stuff also. And then or like they also said he's gonna be he's gonna be another mentor role for him in this movie, because how Tony Stark was a mentor in Homecoming, and then there was a little bit of Nick Fury in Far From Home. An argument can be made as Nick Fury and Happy.
Right.
But obviously the point made is that Strange is in the movie, and the reports are that he's going to be taking on another mentor role for Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Right.
Because there's multiple. The one question I have is, one, he's like when that news breaks and Spider-Man is literally sitting in the middle of a crowd of people. Excuse me, a crowd of people. First question: how's he gonna get out of New York?
It's Spider-Man.
If the movie, well, yeah, he's Spider-Man, but still, how's he gonna get out of New York if the movie's taking place in Atlanta?
I don't know.
Like that's when I started saying maybe Doctor Strange is gonna use like his portal and like have like just tell him to go there and like leave his suit here and like lay low and say, and like that would be like when Tom Holland says it. Well, MJ was there with me when when they reported that, and people probably saw like her swinging with me, so she's in danger also. And that would be like the case where like she'll go with him, or like Doctor Strange would be like, I'll keep a close eye on her, or, like I'll make sure she's okay.
Right.
I mean, and who else better to have than Doctor Strange, who can literally open up portals to anywhere in the world?
I've been falling for 30 minutes.
I'll get my brother back also. Oh yeah. Like Strange can open up a portal to anywhere in the world, so he could easily send like MJ with Peter, or he could easily like just get Peter
it's
out
not
of there.
Even just like the world, like like what I just said. Like he had Loki falling for a half an hour. Like he's obviously had him through like a loophole the whole time, so it can be.
Yeah, he can send anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. Like Doctor Strange's movie, if you go online and you just type in Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, you will see, if you look at the cast, it'll have Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, and that's when people are also really thinking, oh, this live action Spider-Verse movie might actually happen like in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Because that's another movie that I'm like pumped to see if they do a live action Spider-Man movie. Because they already said that they already got their Miles Morales, obviously Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland. But they also said that, I think they said Emma Stone, the person who played Gwen Stacy in the Amazing Spider-Man, is going to be playing Spider-Gwen.
That would be like crucial to like Andrew Garfield's storyline too, because
Gwen died in his storyline.
But of course, Spider-Gwen's from a different universe to begin with.
Yeah.
Like an entirely different one.
Yeah, Liam Neeson playing Spider-Noir, that's it. That's it. And then it's gonna be black and white and pulling the gun out.
Oh, the Spider-Man Noir? That would be interesting storyline to follow. Because that's a whole different... That would be a whole different Peter Parker right there.
That's a whole different timeline.
Right. Well, that's like back in World War... I think it was World War II?
I think it's 2.
It's like basically the same thing, except like he's more like, oh, I'll kill people type of Spider-Man.
Well, that's a Spider-Man that's not afraid about, yeah, I'll shoot your ass.
That's a whole different Peter Parker right there, and that is Peter Parker.
The only Spider-Man that's not. The only Spider-Man that I ever know by heart that's not like Peter Parker is the 2099. I think that's Miguel O'Hara.
Yes, and then there's another one, the red, like the suit that we saw in Spider-Man PlayStation 4, the one with the hoodie. That's a whole different person too. That's not Peter Parker's suit. That's a whole different person. I gotta remember who it is.
So if they do a live-action Spider-Verse movie, they gotta think about, all right, how many Spider-Mans are we gonna have in this movie?
Right.
And two,
Who's
who's gonna be
use?
these Spider-Man? Because obviously they got Toby. The three ones they know for sure: Maguire, Garfield, Holland.
I think I like the idea with like, cause from the Spider-Verse movie with Miles Morales, I think I liked Nicolas Cage as like the voice of Noir. That I could see it happening.
Cage?
Yeah, that was Nicolas Cage.
The more you know.
Yeah, I could see that happening, even though he's like Ghost Rider. It would definitely be a redemption from the second Ghost Rider movie.
Oh, the second one, yeah. The first one, I like the first Ghost Rider.
I love the first one.
The second one, I was like, eh. Or they could just do. They could probably be like, hey, like call Nicolas. Or they could like Marvel could try to like work their magic or pull something out their ass when they could be like, oh, Ghost Rider's in the MCU.
Oh yeah, they could do that too.
You see him niggas just flying through.
Because you gotta remember, Marvel is sneaky.
Yes.
Marvel is a sneaky bunch.
You see, like, Nicolas Cage just flying through the motorcycle through Doctor Strange's portal.
Oh my god.
They're all just looking like, who the fuck is that?
Like, who the fuck is that motherfucker?
And then he just straight turns into a fucking Ghost Rider. Like, this should be interesting.
This will be interesting.
Ooh, and then here goes Doctor Strange. Dude, that's just a friend I met from high school. What?
How you know him from high school?
Right.
Damn it, I flashed myself.
The Scarlet Spider. I should have just said that.
I'll tell you another a spider. Like here, like that's the big question. Like if they do a Spider-Verse movie, and it's Into the Spider-Verse, they had, let's see, they had Miles, Gwen, the Spider-Man from Miles' universe, and then Spider-Man from a different universe. So that's 4. Then they had the Peter Porker, the pig.
Ben Riley. That's what his name. Ben Riley.
Then they had Peter Porker. I'm like, I was laughing at that pig for the whole fucking movie.
Oh yeah, Peter Porker. Spider-Pig.
Then there was
Peter
the anime version of her. The anime.
Cartoon?
Like then there was an anime version of like Spider-Man, which is basically a girl in a spider-built robot.
Yeah.
And then you have Spider-Man Noir. So that's like 7 Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then you got the Ben Riley. You got Spider-Gwen. You got not May Parker. Yeah, it's Spider-Man's daughter who becomes Spider-Girl.
Yeah, so basically the big question is how many Spider-Men?
There's a lot. There's a lot to go through. Like
there's a lot to go through, but here's the one: the people are going to be the people are going to be like they want to know. They're going to want to see the main ones, like the ones that everybody knows. So basically, Noir. Excuse me.
Yeah, Noir, the Ben Riley Spider-Man, the Ben Riley like Scarlet Spider, shit like that. Yeah.
They want to know. They're going to want to see like the ones that everybody like knows.
Right.
And obviously, if they're going to do a Spider-Verse movie, they're going to have to put the original 3 in there before they put like I guess you could say the add-ons.
What's your question? You said why though? You said why though? Oh, that question. You asked me a different question. But yeah, yeah.
Like the animated version of Into the Spider-Verse was good. But I want to see how what a live-action Spider-Verse would be like. Obviously, like usually the live-action movies do good regardless, except for Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
But the live-action ones usually do good. But like if they do a live-action Spider-Man, that means you're gonna like we might get Miles Morales, we might get Spider-Gwen, we might get Noir. Who knows how many Spider-Man we're gonna get?
Right.
Oh, I'll tell you another movie I'm hyped for next year.
What's that?
The second Venom.
Oh yeah, with Cletus Cassidy as the enemy,
Carnage.
and not fucking Riot, which is not very. I don't know for sure if he's like a well-known enemy of Venom's anyway.
Who, Riot?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know who Riot was until that movie.
Yeah, he's like more of a understudy for like Carnage and them. Cause you got Carnage, you got Scream, you got a whole bunch of other characters that fucking either side with him or fight against him.
Still, like, I didn't know who Riot was until that movie came.
Yeah, he's not very well known.
Now, Carnage, on the other hand, I've been calling for Carnage since the 4th Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
And I was watching a video about how like Tobey Maguire was talking about Spider-Man 4 about how it was gonna be good and everything the day before it got canceled. I'm like, now that makes me even more sad. Because how you gonna have the lead actor hyping the movie up and then you just cancel the shit? Like, I was dead ass like, you motherfuckers. You robbed us of a fucking, probably glory, a most likely best Spider-Man movie before the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? We could have got the Lizard, we could have got whoever, who knows?
Ah shit, these are all shielded. Ah damn. God damn.
Speaking of the Lizard, this is what I also just picked up in this is like the Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There's no Dr. Connors in this one.
There was a Dr. Connors in the...
There's a Dr. Connors in the
Originals?
first one, and like the first 3 Dr. Connors was there.
Yeah, but he wasn't
came in the second
human.
one. Yeah, he was just regular human. And then in the first Amazing Spider-Man, he was there because he was the Lizard.
Yeah.
But in the MCU, there's no Dr. Connors.
That's because they've already used Dr. Connors.
I mean, they still could have like found a way to move him in there.
That's like with the Goblin, they've already used him. That's why he's not in the MCU.
Once again, they can still try to find a way to move him in there.
Yeah.
Because I still think, like, you can't have like a Spider-Man movie series without the Goblin at least showing up once.
Yes. I agree with you. Don't get me wrong, I agree.
Because I want to see like the Goblin. I want to see Sandman again. I actually like Sandman.
They did a really good job on Sandman. I did not like Venom in that movie at all. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't like him either. Not in that movie.
See, as a kid, I liked it because my favorite Spider-Man villain was Venom. So when I finally saw Venom, I'm like, yay, Venom!
Yeah, but when you think of Venom, you think about like the MCU, or not MCU, but like the fucking Tom Hardy Venom.
That's part of the Sony universe.
Yeah, that's why I corrected myself. But when you think of Venom, you don't think of...
Well, not anymore. When you think of Venom... Well, when you think of Venom... Well, not anymore you don't think of that one, but before Tom Hardy's Venom, everyone was like, oh, the only Venom we know was the one from Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, but when, like, even if you look at like the comics and stuff, when you think of Venom, think of this big fucking like symbiote motherfucker.
Big symbiote that looks like he can kill you with one poke.
He's almost about the same like bulkiness as like Rhino in the comics. Like that's how big you expect him to be, and I think like Tom Hardy's Venom is so well done.
Venom is perfect. Tom Hardy's Venom is perfect.
That's what I said. It's so well done. And I like the fact that like they want to use him as like an anti-hero almost because of like
he is an anti-hero
because of Eddie Brock being like kind of like a good guy, and then you got
it's a yin and a yang.
Yes. but you gotta, because it's not like he's only an anti-hero because of like he hasn't like met Spider-Man or anything yet, so it's not like he has a reason. He doesn't have a reason to be a villain.
Yeah. But another thing, well, not another thing. But with Tom Hardy, like Sony has already said they want to find a way. Like they're already been discussing with Marvel because they want to take Tom Holland and put him into like have him meet like Tom Hardy's Venom at some point.
Right.
And I'm like, that would be a good ass movie.
That would mean that Sony and Marvel have to work together.
Yeah, that means they like when the big story report like after Far From Home was that basically Far From Home was the last one. Everybody was irate, and then like there was reports that Tom Holland like went to both Sony and Marvel and said like he got please like work this out because like everybody loves the Spider-Man and more importantly I loved it. Like, so basically, can y'all stop being bitches and like work this out like professional businesses that y'all are?
Right.
Because everybody loved Far From Home, but if you're just gonna take Far From Home just because y'all couldn't agree on something, or take away Spider-Man just because y'all were agreeing on something, like that's fucked up. Everybody even said it. Like if we get another Spider-Man, we're not gonna like it because Tom Holland was basically the perfect Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man and Peter Parker because he did both roles good.
Right.
And like people can like for the people that were like, well, Peter is like young, they need to have somebody that can be like play the role of like a young teenager. Tom Holland fits that because he does look like a young teenager.
Even though he was like 24 or something like that.
He's like 23, 24 because him and Zendaya are a year apart.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another thing I saw. Have you seen the Morbius trailer yet?
They can't. Well, nah, I did. I liked it, but they said they were gonna do it this year, but they didn't.
Well, there was a lot of movies that were. There was a lot of stuff that was supposed to happen this year, but COVID was like, nah, fuck y'all.
Even before COVID, I mean, I hate to put it to a whole other company, but think about when DC came up with the Thing trailer out of nowhere. They said it's canceled. What? I was actually hyped for the Thing trailer.
Like when I saw the Morbius trailer and they had like a picture of like basically Spider-Man in the background and it said murderer, I'm like, and it had like basically the Sam Raimi Spider-Man up there. I'm like, either they're putting that there because they don't want to put Tom Holland's new suit up there yet, or Morbius is part of basically like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe. Because if that is the case, like that just pushes into the Spider-Verse movie even more.
Yeah. I think they picked a good guy to play as Morbius too. Don't get me wrong. I think
Who's playing Morbius?
I forgot his name.
the same guy who played Joker in Suicide Squad.
Who?
The same guy. The same. That's funny.
No, I couldn't hear you. That was chewing.
The same guy who played Joker in Suicide Squad.
Jared Leto?
Yeah. Because they do the whole story about him being sick and everything, and then they make him look, you know, healthy. I think he did a good job. Like, just from the trailer, I think it looks pretty good with Jared Leto.
I'll tell you one thing for sure that I'm semi-hyped for.
I thought you were lying when you told me I didn't have enough.
They said there's been reports and rumors that Ben Affleck might return back as his version of Batman.
Oh, razors. Yeah. I mean, it could happen.
Move, Tiger.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, I think he played a good Bruce Wayne and a good Batman. But then here comes the question, like, who's really good at playing Batman and Bruce Wayne at the same time?
You want to know my opinion?
Wait, where's
It's gotta be the voice actor who does Batman. What?
Where's the controller?
in that drawer. The second one.
Charges? Is it charged?
See if it turns on.
The voice actor.
Yeah, I forget his name. He did the animated series. He did the Arkham series. Batman.
No, so if that would be dead, can you charge it?
Yeah, I can charge it. What did I say about watching movies on here?
What?
That's what fried it last time. I mean, you can watch movies on here, but if it starts to die, then plug it in.
What, Bowser? Come on, get it!
And don't watch porn on here.
I'll watch it.
Ha!
Don't watch porn on my VR.
Well, you let her watch porn before, so.
Hey, hey, hey. That's because I said, hey babe, look at this.
You're the one that told me to watch it.
I know, that's what I just said.
You're the one that watched it first.
I wanted to see how it actually looked. I was like, let me go.
Don't lie.
Let me go fix myself to this.
Don't lie.
I'm not lying. Why would I lie?
Man, so he wanted the 4K vision.
I went to 4K vision. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
I want
to
to
be
look
honest.
like this porn star was really grinding on my ass.
on your ass.
Shut up, you know what I meant.
What, man?
If you want to watch fake things, not lying, it's okay.
What did you just say?
You want to look at fake boobs, you're not lying.
I did not want to look at fake boobs. Thank you very much.
Did she say fake boobs?
Yes.
Some of those boobs are fake. Some of them, yeah, but not all of them. Like the amateur videos, nah, those are real. And that brings in the conversation.
What?
If you could choose your favorite porn category, what would you choose?
We're not going through this again.
Why not?
Damn, wait, hold on a second.
Exactly, Rocky wasn't here for this conversation. Okay, like what?
I was there for one question. Who was your favorite porn star? But other than that, I never like
What, babe?
really heard this one before.
Under the bed.
We talking about categories now.
Alright, like just, or just make it quick. Favorite category, favorite porn star, and favorite positions. Go.
I don't have a favorite star. I don't have a favorite category.
Why you lying?
Yeah, I'm about to say lie again.
I don't know. I don't really watch porn anymore.
Lie again.
I don't.
Yeah, you don't be beating anyone when Kenzie's not there. Alright.
I don't.
You sure you don't?
I don't.
Rocky, your turn.
Alexis Texas, Doggy Style, and
Oh, I forgot my position. I forgot my favorite position. It's the same thing as Rocky's. Position? Sex position.
Doggy style can be a position in a category.
No, I'm talking to Mackenzie. She was like, "What? What the fuck are y'all talking about?"
We're talking about guy stuff.
Yeah.
If I did have to choose my favorite star, I think it would be
Roddy Reed.
Yeah. What? Why are you staring at me?
That's looking real.
When you're in trouble with your girl, but you can feel her staring at you.
I just started making stupid noises.
Okay, what's your favorite position? You said
My favorite position? It was the same. It was the same as Rocky's.
doggy.
Doggy style.
Yeah,
You like it too? Don't look. Don't
No,
fucking.
that's not my favorite one. Thank you very much.
Which one is it? Because we only have done 3 of them.
Damn, only 3?
You're more creative. You're the one being a little bitch.
Jeez, y'all basic 0-3. Jeez, I buy a whole book and try that whole book.
Are they expanded?
No.
Oh.
It's me holding it like this.
Oh. Well, now you
Well,
have
Christian,
pause.
It's double stacking.
Yeah, Tide Pod.
I love it.
No, it's game. It's not Tide. It's game.
I didn't say Tide. I said pods.
Damn.
Christian, hello.
Yes?
I love you.
I love you too.
Can you go searching my phone out of the bathroom?
What were you saying, Brandon?
Is doggy your favorite category also?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. For me,
Actually, no. I think it would be reverse.
reverse cowgirl.
Yeah. For what? Why are you staring at me?
It's like I'm so disappointed and you want me to say that.
Hey, why are you listening to my conversation anyway? I'm talking to the boys.
Can you go get my phone?
I gotta run to the
That's
bathroom real
why you
quick.
can't be in the house when you tell me.
I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
You gotta pee.
Yeah.
In other words, when the kids about to beat your ass.
No, I have to actually go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom too, but I'm in the middle of the game, so I gotta hold it. Rocky, me, you know his ass is lying when he said he doesn't jerk off.
Oh. He's definitely lying, bro.
He capping.
No, it's ass butts about it. You lying hard.
He's capping hella hard.
I'm gonna give me a blood for it.
I don't masturbate or jerk her off anymore. Lie again.
Oh, damn well, you that shit. And if you're not satisfying you, shit, you better.
Shoot, if your girl says nah, go jerk off, I'm like, alright.
I bet. I'm pulling my pants off right in front of your ass. How about that?
I didn't mean in front of me. You said go do it. Didn't say where.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, if I'm gonna please myself, I want to at least look at something good. Jeez, I really need to go to the bathroom. I hope this game finishes quick.
Oh, yeah. I got a piece of bed right now. Oh, I actually caught your ass. I'm in a party, so I can't really tell what the fuck's going on. Hey, you definitely about to get all no.
Damn it! It comes down to the last kill. Who's gonna get it? Damn it! Well, we lost. I'm gonna go use the bathroom now. Window camping motherfucker. That's another thing I'm gonna have to deal with when the new Call of Duty comes out. Gotta deal with the fucking campers. Alright, I'll be back.
Good way to come back. I got myself back up to a 142, by the way.
What?
It's a door.
As in the Avengers game. So I made the mistake of
Look, babe. It's doors.
their doors.
No.
Oh. So I screwed up on the game by replacing some gear and deleting the gear. So where's B? Oh, yeah, that's right. He did say he had to go to the bathroom.
Do you want to go outside after I'm done cleaning up right here?
Sure.
Things are in the
So, talking about all the movie stuff, what are you, Rocky, what are you interested in seeing whenever it comes out?
I did was filming a new fucking Spider-Man.
Okay.
Or I at least just want the mattress on the floor right now. I don't want the bed, like the bedroom itself. Because instead of him sleeping on our bed, we can put the mattress on our side of it. Like this. If you want.
That's not up to me.
It's your room too.
Yeah, but... No.
You can have it, it's fine. I can always get another one, it's dirty anyway. Just give it to him.
Get it.
I can always get a new dragon.
Go get it.
Move that paint off the bed.
You put it on the bed.
I want to paint the dresser drawers and like the dresser. I want to paint it black. I want to paint the dresser black, but the doors white.
Okay.
And I want to draw stuff on. Actually,
Can you fix this cage?
I want to draw stuff on there.
I'm back.
Hola. So, besides like the Marvel movies and stuff like that, what else is there anything else that you're like interested in seeing, like for games or for movies?
Oh, I didn't even get to say what my favorite three was.
Oh, go ahead. I'm interested to hear this.
My favorite star is Bella Danger.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just say you can understand that?
Yeah.
Keep it off the floor.
Favorite star, Bella Danger. Favorite position, back shots.
You throw away that fucking gun and then you're gonna pay for a new one because that thing costs $60.
Then keep it off the floor.
And favorite category will probably be hardcore. Either
Wait,
hardcore or massage.
I missed the position.
Back shots.
Ah.
Back shots or cowgirl. But non-Marvel related movies or games that I'm excited for, besides Call of Duty, obviously. I'm excited games-wise. There's not really that many games. I already named the games that I'm gonna get for the PlayStation 5, so those are the only games I'm really games I named are the ones I'm excited for.
Okay. Well, what about like films?
Film-wise, I was supposed to see Fast and Furious this year, but COVID happened, so I'm excited for Fast and Furious.
Okay.
And well, Fast and Furious, Black Widow, and Venom 2. If everything would have went as planned and it came out this year, I would have. Those were the only three movies I was thinking about seeing this year.
Right. I'm waiting on.
Oh, they've been eating their food.
Somebody mentioned one day about the Black Panther thing.
Where's the
But imagine if, like, you had, like, a time machine, but you had, like, an end game and shit like that. Imagine if you use that to go back and revive Michael B. Jordan and shit.
I'm gonna try and play these.
Okay, so I just pulled up the movies for 2021,
Yeah.
and these are the movies that are coming out: Black Widow, Morbius, Ghostbusters,
Nope.
Eternals,
Nope.
Fast and Furious,
Yeah, yep.
007,
Might see that.
Top Gun.
Might see that.
Right, see that.
Then there's the Marvel movie Shanghai or whatever.
What, Ben?
Then you got Jungle Cruise, whatever that movie is. I don't really. And Disney called Ryan, Venom 2, Halloween Kills.
Oh,
They're
yeah, I
making-
forgot.
They're making another Michael Myers movie.
Yep.
Yep.
That's looking forward to that shit.
The Kingsman.
Another Kingsman movie.
Yeah. The Suicide Squad. Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yep.
Yeah.
The remake of Godzilla vs. Kong.
We got Candyman.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Jordan Peele is directing that movie. I want to see it. Because he also
Quiet
did
Place
Us.
Part 2.
Yes.
Looks like they're giving us the 101 Dalmatians movie.
Really?
Need
Yeah.
help?
Yeah.
It looks like they're gonna give us another Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise because that's what it's looking like. It's not. It shows the picture, but it's not showing the movie title. So I'm like, that's Mission Impossible. We got the Uncharted movie.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
The Minions: Rise of Gru.
Give me 1 sec.
Well, I'm gonna keep saying them to you, Rocky. We got the Minions: Rise of Gru, Peter Rabbit, Space Jam with LeBron James.
Okay. I might see that. It's like a hit and miss for me though.
We got Snake Eyes. The Conjuring. They're making a Bob's Burgers movie, really?
Really? A Bob's Burgers movie?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh my god, if this movie actually comes out next year, I am definitely gonna go see that.
What?
The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely see that.
The first one was funny as shit. I'm definitely gonna see that if that
Yeah, I
comes out.
forgot. I forgot about that movie. Yes, I'm definitely gonna go see that.
The first one was funny as shit.
Ow, my foot.
Oh, for God. Oh, God. Dude. This is the wrong time to be making another Purge movie.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
They're making a Purge movie called The Forever. Like Purge the Forever or The Forever Purge. That's gonna be really, you gonna make a Purge movie when people are already rioting in America? Oh, they're supposed to be making a Mortal Kombat movie.
It'd be lit if they did like a Soul Calibur movie, but then again, I'll be over there geeking.
So next year, movies that I'm gonna like, these are the movies I'm definitely seeing next year: Black Widow, Morbius, Fast and Furious, 007, Venom, The Suicide Squad, Godzilla vs. Kong, A Quiet Place Part 2, Uncharted, the Spider-Man movie, obviously, because that's coming out next Christmas, I think. The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, and that seems to be it. The ones that I'm iffy for is Halloween, because I'm basically tired of them remaking the old Halloween movies.
Yeah, but the only reason why they did that one, you only gotta watch the first one in order to continue that with the one that recently came out last year or 2 years ago.
I think it's 2
You don't
years
have to
ago.
watch. You don't have to watch the other ones that came out. Like after the first one, that was it.
It's just that the Halloween series, it was just
I feel
all
like-
over the place.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like I was like, yeah, you really don't have to. They really kind of brought me off guard a little bit.
The Halloween movies were all over the place to the point where after the second one, I stopped watching them.
And it was like the curse of freaking Michael Myers. I'm like, what curse?
When it said the curse of Michael Myers, I'm like, really?
It had like a freaking
Really?
like, Michael has a child or something. I'm like, really?
Michael didn't have a child. He had a niece.
Whatever.
And
and
his
he-
niece had a child. His niece had a child.
That was his baby.
No, it
Yes,
wasn't his
it was.
baby. It wasn't his baby.
It was. It was.
No, it was
Actually, no, it's not dirty. You can't have
the what's the kid's name? Tommy, the little boy Tommy's kid.
Oh my god, you need to go back and rewatch it.
I know, I do.
They don't go there. You know where they go. Look them up. Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that's all for this podcast. For the first
Why are you
podcast.
lying?
What do you mean? Why am I lying?
You always lying about that shit.
I'm not lying. That's all for this podcast. I think that's good enough for our first podcast.
You know damn well you still want to go.
Nah. I think I'm
Why
good. I'm not lying.
First of all, you dragged our asses in this podcast. Then you started at the time that you were supposed to.
Okay. I'll be more prepared next time.
Better be.
It's been a little while, okay?
A little.
Blow my ass. Man, as soon as I say that, your ass gets off. That is stupid. I have to be careful, right? As soon as I say that, his ass gets off. So bad. I'm still getting my ass
Shots
beat
a
on.
lot better. It gets a lot cooler. Do you need anything that needs to be washed, babe?
No, I watched everything. Pretty much.
Except for verse.
Bowser, you definitely cannot have this. You even try to chew on it, I swear to God I will kill you. This is mommy's favorite.